Good evening, CineNerds. Welcome to another episode. I'm Ryan.
I am your classic center, JP.
Classic Cine, huh? Well, I guess from that note right there, we can just say what we're about to review. What are we reviewing this week?
We are reviewing the film Sinners, starring Michael B. Jordan.
Whenever I say the name of this movie, I think of Tommy Boy, who's a sinner.
um, so, initial reactions on this, I'll go ahead and go first since this was your movie.
Yeah.
Uh, I was pretty psyched about this movie, and this is a movie that when I first saw the some of the first trailers for it, I really didn't have much of a desire to see it. But then as other trailers came out, I got a little more hype for it. And then while I was on tour, back a few months ago when this first hit the theaters, I actually rushed. There was a theater right next door to the venue we were playing in Utah, and I literally did sound check and walked across the parking lot to the theater and sat down and watched this movie. Went to the actual theater and watched this one, and I watched it again a couple days ago since it hit HBO Max, and I fucking love this film. And I've said a lot of things about this film, and like I actually went on the whole damn enchilada podcast and said my gripes about this film, and we'll dive into that as we go through this. But this film as a whole, like I left the theater like really enjoying this film, but it does have its quirks that I do have issues with.
Oh, all right. Where do I say? So, my initial impression was from the first round of trailers that came out with this movie. In the first round of trailers, this movie could not have come across more wrong, in my opinion, than anything. This movie, excuse me, in the initial trailer, it just looked like it was another black versus white Southern issue, something to feed into the frenzy of media where we're divided further. And I had zero want to see something like that. I like movies about unity and things that are like horror, sci-fi. We know the genre.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I saw the second trailer and I was like, that's not what I thought it was because now I'm aware there's vampires and I was like that I was not expecting. So I did not see it in the theater. I wish I could have seen it in the theater. But so all my initial impressions though were not the greatest, but I was intrigued by the vampire element. So what I got was far better than what I was hoping for.
Yeah, and that was my issue when I had no interest because the original teasers for this, like I had no clue it was even a vampire film. Like
Yeah, me either.
it just looked like a period piece that starred Michael B. Jordan, and I was just like, I like Michael B. Jordan, and but I was like, man, this just looks like I'm something I'm not going to be interested in. And but then once I realized that it was a vampire film, I was like, okay, wait a minute, a period piece set back in, I believe it was, I can't remember what year this is supposed to be, but I believe it's in the 20s, maybe,
Uh,
or
I
no,
think
it's in the
I
20s, 30s, or something like that. Maybe even the 40s. It's back then.
Yeah, no, I think that it is the 20s indeed because uh, I'm gonna before we even get to it, I'm just gonna say it right off the rip. This movie has Buddy Guy in it,
Hmm.
and I was fucking stoked about that piece. And the reason I bring that up is because they basically played with the timepiece to incorporate his age, but in the 80s. To make him this different blues legend of who he was becoming in his youth, and I was here for it. So, and that comes in way later. We can talk about that later. But yeah, 20s, where we start the movie in a plantation setting, um, and it doesn't seem like it's so much slavery or anything like that. It's more just they're the ones who are working the plantation still, and they're the ones who have to go to work every day. They've got a black community. The main character who grows up, and Buddy Guy plays. that main character happens to have his father be the pastor or the priest in their congregation in their church in the South, and his father can't stand the idea of him playing the blues music and sinning playing it. Um, but I do like that. This is what kind of lured me in the beginning more so than the vampires. I can't express. I mean, JP, I don't think you and I would have met if it wasn't for music.
Yeah.
Uh, Music is what brought us together, and we've got a great friendship now because of it. Music heals. I did a post to this on my Facebook page recently. It heals. It warms the heart. It brings everyone together, and that's where this movie starts with that driving force. It talks about how music can channel and how it can bring good and bad spirits, and it can do many things. And that right off the rip, I was already locked because of the music aspect. So I loved it.
Yeah, and the the creativity with the music on this film is insane. Like from the Irish, folk,
I just said that to my wife.
yeah, the Irish songs that they do, the blues, the whole Robert Johnson feel, kind of thing. And then there's one particular scene where they combined time period pieces of music
I was
all
going to talk
together,
about this. Yep.
and that is like one of the now it's weird because I've actually watched this. Actually, I've watched this movie 3 times now. I watched it theater, I watched it on tour, and I watched it after I got home. And um, I loved that that uh that piece of music where you got
Absolutely.
you got you got a combination of present day 20s music and all the way back into ancient music, all the way to music from the future, all combined into one song. And I can't remember who was watching it with us while we were on tour, but I remember somebody saying, "Oh, that's kind of annoying." But I thought it was genius. I thought the scene was great, like with the bringing in the ghost
It,
of
it
past and
embodied.
present
Go
and
ahead. Sorry
future.
to
Yeah,
interrupt.
yeah, the kind of the ghost of past, present, and future, all combining this music as in one piece, and I thought it was beautiful. I mean, and the music is just incredible and throughout this whole film.
So the antagonist, the main vampire guy, he clearly is Irish background.
Hmm.
Hence, we get the Irish folk music and the Irish jig and the dancing, and so you get that aspect. But when they're doing that intro and they're talking about how music can summon good and bad spirits, it can tap into all these things, and talking about how it basically doesn't have the restrictions of like dimensional issues. Reason I bring that up is because the whole purpose of like when they start doing this juke, this place where the brothers, Michael B. Jordan, by the way, plays two characters in this. He plays
Hmm.
twin brothers, and they buy a juke, old Southern dance party hall essentially, and they want music, they want celebration, and when they're having the young man, God, I can't remember his name for the life of me, but the young man who's the main character, he starts playing his music, and that draws this antagonist to him because the music is like calling to this vampire, and the vampire wants him because he feels that he plays such beautiful emotional music that he can open up the doorway that he needs to do what he needs to do. And so I thought between that and the period piece of showing those generations like coming together and converging, it kind of like added to that story, that backbone, and gave it more depth. And I loved it. I was here for it.
Yeah, yeah, it's yeah, that's the one thing you can say. One of the big takeaways from this film is just how everything comes together with music, and the the head vampire basically every bit of knowledge that somebody has whenever he turns them, he gains is kind of the deal. And so he wants this guy's music. He wants to be able to have access to this guy's creativity. He knows that he's such a creative artist that he taps into kind of what I was saying a minute ago with ghost of past, future, or past, present, and future uh, artist, and he knows that this kid is something special, and He wants those gifts. He wants that knowledge. He wants that creativity. Is why he wants this guy so much, and that whole aspect of this movie is so good.
Absolutely, I love the music aspect, and I love the fact that the music coincides with vampires. One of the only other movies that does it like that for me is Queen of the Damned. I thought Queen of the Damned was great because of that element too. The music is what draws them together. That the whole violin scene in Queen of the Damned, all that is just beautiful all around. But in this instance with Sinners, that is the vampires and the music are the saving grace. We'll say.
Yeah.
And I say that because I do like the story. I do like what's happening. However, I also feel, and I've heard a few people say otherwise, and they argue with me that they don't think it's the case, but it is. It is literally the story. You take away the music element and the which it even still is similar. But you take away the music element and the depth with it, and you've got From Dusk Till Dawn. I'm sorry.
hmm Yeah. And that's been my gripe. I want to go ahead and tell you my two big gripes about this film. One was all these people that reviewed this film when it came out, and this was my issue with it. This was my big problem at the time, and I was being very vocal about it. Was a lot of these people that were reviewing it were coming out and saying it's the most original vampire film that they've seen in decades, and the first thing that come to mind was this is basically a plantation version of From Dusk Till Dawn. First off, and second off, if you think this is the most creative vampire movie you've seen in decades, then you've not ever watched Let the Right One In, because that was an original take on a vampire film. And but you know, and I've even argued with Rick from the Whole Damn Enchilada when we were talking about this. He had talked about, oh, this movie's so good, it's so original, and he was even one of them. And I call him out on this because we had a conversation off camera, and this is kind of why I jumped in and put my 2 cents in when they reviewed this film. Um, and it wasn't just him. There's big reviewers that talked about how this is the most creative film vampire film they'd seen in years. But he had talked about how great this film is and how original this film was. But then he kind of was like, it's kind of like From Dusk Till Dawn. I'm like, well, let's rewind. You just said it was really original, but you just said it's like From Dusk Till Dawn. Now there is original things in this film, hence the music and how things are tied in. It is original. It is great. But the From Dusk Till Dawn thing is what makes it feel unoriginal. Does it make me dislike the film? That's it's actually the people reviewing this film, and I use Rick as an example. I'm not trying to throw him under the bus because I love the guy, I love the podcast, but he's not really the main one. He kind of agreed with me once I said it. It's a lot of these other big reviewers, on Rotten Tomatoes, the critics, the actual critics that were saying this that I had the issue with. My other big issue with this film is this film could have easily had 15, maybe even 20 minutes cut out of this film. This movie, the first at least 30 to 40 minutes, drags. There's good elements in it, but it drags. It takes them for fucking ever to get to the vampires and the bar scenes and stuff. Uh, it's literally like the first 30 minutes is them trying to recruit people to come set the bar up, and it's like
So, but I think that plays a part into this, right?
it plays a
So,
part.
like,
It plays a part, but it drug out too long.
I kind of disagree. I think that they were necessary drags, if you will, because the characters we meet along the way become your primary characters, who are now the main characters in this group setting in this juke. There was literally, I don't know, probably about 100 people inside of this place, but you've got it down to these, like, I think it's around 8 characters at this point,
Mm-hmm.
maybe 10, and these are the people we meet in that 20-30 minute window. I do agree it's definitely could have been done differently, where it could have been tidied up for sure and still delivered the same message. But it I think it was kind of necessary.
Maybe I'm exaggerating with the 15, 20 minutes, but definitely 5 minutes could have been cut from this film.
For
I mean,
sure. For
there's
all the movies
definitely
nowadays could have. Yeah.
yeah, there's definitely some time in there that could have been cut.
So
Go ahead.
I thought, okay, I was just gonna say so to me, the anyone saying this is not like From Dusk Till Dawn. You had literally have you literally have criminal brothers. One wants to do the right thing, one wants to try and be done with it all and get something like long term established. You've got a genre shift in the middle of the movie where you go from all of a sudden we're going for money or whatever the goal is that we're going for in a criminal element, and all of a sudden, wham, vampires. So, and then you've got one brother turns, you've got a bar club setting, you have to survive the night. All these things are definitely elements that were all from Dust and Dawn. Is that saying that it stole from Dust and Dawn? No, I
Hmm.
do think they have their own entities and their own details that make them different. Um, for instance, from Dust and Dawn, quirky, fun, energetic, and very intense, if you will. And then you've got this movie, Sinners, which actually has way more depth. I feel like there is a lot more being explored here as far as you've got the South, you've got religion, you've got family ties. There's more happening here on a deeper level. But as far as a fun, good time, from dusk to dawn all day.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I used the comparison of this film as "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou" meets "From Dusk Till Dawn."
Okay.
And I love "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou." It's one of my favorite films. You know, I love the music in it. It's a time period piece. It's kind of set in the same kind of time period. You know, and I think that's what gives me a little bit of that vibe. Um, Now, for me, I would watch "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou" over this film all day long. That's me. But uh, Ryan Coogler, the guy who wrote and directed this, now this is a guy that came out of fucking nowhere. Do you know much about him?
No, I don't.
So this guy came out of fucking nowhere. This guy was a nobody. Like whenever he wrote a script for a little movie, and he submitted it to Sylvester Stallone. And this is kind of a Stallone story, kind of the same thing with he did with Rocky. He wrote this script. He submitted it. You know, the studios wanted it, but they wanted other directors, actors. He was adamant that he wanted to write or act and direct in this film. So Ryan Coogler did the same thing. He wrote a film. He wrote a script. He took it to Stallone, and Stallone said, I love this. I want to make this film." Ryan Coogler said, "I want to direct it," and fought Stallone on directing this film. Finally, Stallone agreed. He'd give him the same shot that Stallone had, which that film was Creed. His first film was Creed. Now, I love the Creed films, especially the first and second one. The third one, not quite as much, but I think he only directed the first one. So he was the guy who actually wrote and directed the first Creed film. After this guy fucking lands Black Panther and Wakanda Forever. I mean, this guy came out of nowhere and then went into fucking Marvel territory. He's doing the whole reboot of the Rocky genre with Creed, and he's doing Black Panther. He's doing Marvel films, and I read an article that he did Sinners because this was a way for him to get away from other franchises, and he wanted to do something on his own. And this was kind of that first thing, since all these franchises that he kind of turned into a pet project that he wanted to actually do something different.
So I have not seen any of the Creed movies yet.
We are going to have to change that.
Yeah, listen, as a diehard, lifelong fan of Rocky, you're absolutely right. And that's the thing is, I didn't know the extent to how deep it goes into Rocky, and I because of that in itself, I need to. Now let's rewind here to him establishing himself and getting away too, and also being tied into Marvel and franchises. I also want to just point out that anyone, I feel like anyone lately who runs into Michael B. Jordan usually has something good happening.
Hmm.
I don't. He's one of the. I think as far as the black actors are out that are out there, I think he's one of those actors. He's kind of like, I don't know much about him in life, but he comes across, and I hope it stands true. Comes across as kind of like a black Keanu Reeves, like just a
Yeah.
kind, genuine person. And so, when he gets his name on something, I'm interested. I'm intrigued. I want to know about it. So
Oh, absolutely. And Michael B. Jordan is. I've said this in the past. He is definitely probably my favorite modern black actor, African American actor. Um, I've liked him. There has not been a film that I have seen him in that I have been like, he's awful in this. He has been good in every film I have seen him in. I even liked him as the Human Torch in the shitty Fantastic Four film. But I did really,
that's the only Fantastic Four I didn't see.
yeah, and I loved him as Johnny Storm. I thought he was great as Johnny Storm, and obviously I'm not a big Black Panther fan, but he was fucking great in Black Panther.
I agree.
Creed, the Creed films. You believe that he is Apollo Creed's son. Like he's so good in it. Like everything I see him in, he's
Did
he.
you did you see the Netflix show Raising Dion?
I did not see that.
Man, go check it out. You want to talk about something getting props and respect? Like, so he fought. He's a small part in it, but he fought to produce and I believe he directs quite a handful of the episodes, if not all. But he fought to make that show happen on Netflix, and we got a couple seasons out of it. So good. I'd like to see more. I got my son who's 12 now, but he watched that with me when he was 9. We loved it start to finish because it's literally about a little boy who comes into his own, finding out superpowers, and he doesn't know what to do with them, and he's just struggling. And then it shows the parental side of it, where the mom is trying to raise a young boy who's got these powers and not deal with it in a wrong way. So it's really really cool. The protagonist, the antagonist, and those solid. It's just good. It's really good.
Yeah.
So yeah, anything he's in, I'm all for.
Yeah, I'll check it out. 'Cause that one I've missed that one. I didn't know anything about it, so I'll have to look that one up. Um,
By the way, those of you watching on YouTube, do I look spooky enough with my candlelight? I didn't have my ring light out, so I'm sorry if I'm a little darker than normal. For those of you who can see,
it's the tan. You laid out in the sun, didn't you? You're darker.
it's the fat man blush. It's those rosy cheeks for Santa, right? I'm getting ready for the holiday.
So, diving back into this film, what'd you think about some of the gore and some of the kills and transformations?
Outstanding. Literally outstanding. The throat tears specifically seemed to be a focus, and I was here for that. And they were every time somebody came up, there's blood spraying. Every time somebody came up, there's blood dripping on them. They soaked all the clothes in blood. Um, I really like I do like the way they approach the racial aspects in this and on all fronts too. Those kind of tied into some of those moments of gore because of I forget the one white girl's name who's in the juke,
Mm-hmm.
who is she's basically in love with one of the brothers and she becomes a vampire and it goes from there. But when that brother gets when he gets his neck bit, that was brutal. That was an excellent
Yeah,
scene.
yeah. Oh, and
A
when
lot of it was.
she pops up with the blood all over her face, going, you're all going to die tonight. Yeah, that's it's such a cool scene.
Be honest. When that scene happened, what did you think of?
I don't know.
You're all going to die down here.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
My wife and I looked at each other and almost verbatim said that to each other. So it was funny.
Um, I'll tell you, one of my favorite shots and scenes of this whole film was when the door guy, comes back, and Smoke is going to pay him. He goes to give him his money, and he goes to and he grabs him and tries to bite Smoke, and in that motion, he gets pulled outside, and Smoke draws his gun as he's being pulled outside and shoots him in the face. That whole shot was just, that was probably my favorite shot of the whole film.
So I know why you like that because we're dudes, and that's aesthetically pleasing because it's literally a singular motion. There's not
Yeah,
like they didn't cut. That isn't that is filmed that way, so that as he's being pulled, the momentum is going with him, and he pulls his gun and shoots simultaneously to stop the bite. And I definitely love that. That was a
yeah,
great moment.
yeah.
No, totally agree.
It was just a perfect of like shooting off the hip type shot, and it was so good. And um the when the head vampire first shows up in the film, he shows up at this house of these KKK members, and he's begging for help, saying these Indians are chasing him. It's the Chickasaw um, tribe that is chasing him. And then they're warning him to saying, "Hey, this guy's not what he appears." And I wanted to throw that out there because they did include the Chickasaw tribe in this film, which time period wise, it kind of made sense, because of the Irish and them were fairly friendly during that time period.
Um, the amount of cultural respects paid in this film was definitely bravo because I don't think there was a single like I mean you covered white Irish, you covered black Southern, you covered Africa, you covered modern day, you got the Native Americans being represented. It was just so that all was awesome too. In addition to the music,
Yeah, yeah. Um, the
nobody gives a fuck about those KKK guys. Fuck them.
Yeah, no, and there's such a good scene at the end of this film with them as well. Um, but before we get into that, the whole from dusk till dawn ending. Let's just the swarms of vampires come in, and it's just a kill fest with all of them. His brother Stack is turned into a vampire, so is his girlfriend, and there's a scene where they Stack actually attacks Smoke's girlfriend, wife, or whatever she is, and bites her. And she had told Smoke earlier in the film that if she gets bit to kill her, she don't want to live like that. And so they watch Stack and the white girl watch Smoke kill his wife because that's what she asked for. And they were all yelling in disbelief. It was a really powerful scene. It doesn't sound so powerful. I'm sitting here talking about it, I don't feel like, but watching this unfold it's a fucking impactful scene, and it's one of the cooler scenes in this film as well.
I mean, I think most of us would do anything to respect a loved one's wishes and also to stop their soul from being turned to that. So if that were the case, so I definitely felt that moment for sure, and I'm glad he respected her wishes in a real world setting. Not that we
Yeah,
wouldn't be vampires, but if you had to respect someone's wishes, I mean that's hard shit.
yeah,
Making those calls is hard shit.
yeah. And the all the way into the final battle, between Smoke and Stack, and the cousin, the blues player cousin, and the head vampire. Um, it all plays out so good. And if you've not, I don't really want if we were want to tell all the ending of details, but it turns into a pretty epic battle, and that whole sequence of them actually defeating the head vampire it becomes kind of an epic um, feeling scene,
Yeah, no, without a doubt. And I love those moments where and it was funny. Sorry, I this whole end scene really does resonate with me. And like, so some of the final moments with the head vampire, those are magical because that
Well,
vampire is
and
really dialed in.
he's dialed in, and they're also the cousin is praying, and then the head vampire comes up and starts saying the prayer and the scripture with him.
Yeah, and but he's doing it to like mock him, but he doesn't realize that the item that he hits him in the head with, he's just blessed.
Mm-hmm.
He says, "You notice that burned
Yeah.
on him?" Yeah. So there was a lot of little fun elements there. The big battle at the end was definitely cool, but I do think that that antagonist was perfect for this. He just there's something about him, the way that he was fixated on him, the way that all the people felt every single blow that happened to him, and they would go back and forth and pan and show you,
Mm-hmm.
just wonderful. So you know, if I do have my problems with it not being original, but I do really enjoy it. This is one of those movies too. Like you sit with it for a minute, you think about it afterwards, and those are always good movies. But like for me, like even talking about it now, and we're talking through it, I'm finding little parts that I really liked a lot more than I thought I did.
Yeah, yeah. It's the movie. I complain, and you've complained. That it's not that original, but it is fucking good. You can't deny this film is really fucking good.
And
And
let's not lie either. Let's say Hollywood is what it is, and how many stories have we seen at this point that are the same fucking story just with a different twist?
yeah,
So, I mean, at this point, everything can remind you of something in music and in movies. So, this is again one of those situations where I say, don't overanalyze it. Just let yourself enjoy the movie, and you'll enjoy
yeah,
it.
yeah. By the end of the film, you've just got Smoke and the cousin left, and
So, just to give context to that, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but so we've talked about Smoke and Stack a lot. Smoke and Stack is both played by Michael B. Jordan. They're the brothers, obviously. The cousin, who we aren't remembering the name, the cousin really is the protagonist. He is the main character who it all revolves around. He's the blues musician. He is everything. He's the one whose dad is the pastor. Everything is kind of revolving around him and what's brought him to this moment. It seems like he works so hard on the field every day doing the cotton, and then when he's done, he wants this time because his dad even tried to take his guitar away from him. He just wants
mm-hmm,
his time to be free, is the way he puts it. He's like, this time, it's my time. And so when he goes and does this, and it turns into this whole night, you're really kind of vested in him. And I won't even talk about. I forgot to talk about the he has a love interest throughout the film that's happening, and I believe it's Smoke gives him directions on how to
yeah,
approach a certain moment with a lady, and when he gives these instructions, the cousin follows through with them, and as Stack's walking away from the room, he hears them, and he's like, "That's my cousin. That's my cousin."
yeah,
But no, I don't know. I could ramble on and on about this movie, but at the end of the day, it resonated well with me. The cousin being the main character, how he is he's the survivor, as you said, JP, with what's his face, Smoke,
Smoke.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and now we have a different kind of a battle. Now we've got the battle with real evil, in my opinion, not the
Yeah,
vampires.
they bought this barn is basically where they set this juke place up, and they bought it off of these white people who just happened to be KKK members, and they had already the white guys, the KKK members, had already decided that they were going to come back to that place that next morning and basically kill everybody.
Because they
And
just want to take the money and swindle them.
yeah, and so they show up, and Smoke is still there, and Smoke is ex-military at this point, and he's got a whole arsenal of guns and weapons, and he mows down every one of these guys. He's throwing grenades. He's got multiple different machine guns and rifles, and just it's a badass action sequence, is what it is. I mean, it's very reminiscent of old Rambo films and whatnot.
Yep.
And he ends up killing this head KKK member. He's got him there. He's shot him. He goes up to him and goes, "You got to smoke?" And takes a cigarette off of him, sits down. He sees his dead wife and his dead child, who the child had actually passed way before the film started. And he's seeing them like a ghost, and that guy starts mouthing off to him, and he just shoots him dead, holds like his ghost baby, and lays down and dies. Smoke.
So I'm gonna get deeper on that one. So previously, when she said, "Hey, if I get bit, make sure you kill me,"
Mm-hmm.
she alluded to, and you don't know because you don't have a visual at that time, but she goes, "I got somebody waiting for me. Like it's okay."
Mm-hmm.
And so when Smoke has been at this point, Smoke's been shot. Somebody got off one round through, and it was a fatal wound. And while the last KKK guy is sitting there, he sits down and he starts smoking that cigarette. And like you said, he sees her with the baby,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when it gets a little bit deeper. And she goes, "If you put that cigarette out, you can hold her."
Yeah.
And he's like, she's trying to like say, "Hey, it's okay, it's time to come." And so yeah, that was a pretty meaningful moment.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a great scene, and this whole ending is actually really solid because even after
Yeah,
that, you've got the cousin that shows back up to his dad's church, and he's walking in. He's
which,
got the guitar neck in his hand, and his
which
dad's
is how
yelling,
we start the movie.
"Yeah!" And his dad's telling him, "Drop the guitar, drop the guitar." And next thing you see is him driving down the road, putting the guitar neck holding it to his chest, like he's not going to let the guitar go.
His dad was so gung ho about thinking that music was a sin and that it let the demons in, and it caused him to be a sinner. And so when he's saying "let that go," and by the way, this guitar is no more; it's just a neck and
Mm-hmm.
the head,
Yeah.
and that's he's holding on to this because he found out throughout the movie that he was lied to. It wasn't who he thought his guitar it was. It was actually Smoking Stack's daddy's
Yeah.
guitar. And so he's holding on to this thing, and when his dad tells him, "Let it go," "I'll take you back. I'll take you back. Let it go." And then we see him driving down the road, and then it gets even fucking better. We fast forward 60 years.
Yeah. It has a
So
post credit scene.
yeah, it gets even better. So that is a post credit? I thought that was that's right. I thought it rolled right into that. It is a post credit. But yeah, we fast forward 60 years, and just like they just came full circle with how they started the movie, I'm going to come full circle how I started the podcast talking about Buddy Guy.
Mm-hmm.
We got 80-year-old Buddy Guy who's jamming out a fucking set in his bar. He sits at the bar. It's end of night. It's closing time. And the security guy comes in and he goes, "Hey, there's a couple out here. Says they know you. And then we're coming for a drink." And he's like, "Let him on in." And it's Smoke and his girlfriend, the white
It's Stack.
Stack. Sorry.
Yeah.
Um, and at that time, the cousin didn't know that Smoke didn't kill Stack. He thought Smoke actually killed Stack, but he let him go because he loved his brother and he wasn't going to kill him.
Yeah.
And the promise made to kill him, to not kill him, was that he Smokes asked him. He goes, "Just let him live his life and let him
Mm-hmm.
be." And he even offers the cousin right there, Buddy Guy. He goes, we can let you live a little longer right now. And Buddy Guy wants no part of it. He's like, "I've lived enough life." He goes, "I'm ready."
Yeah. Then he plays him a song, and they leave. They say goodbye, and basically tell him they love him and
Yeah,
leave.
which is crazy because that part that part bothered me a little bit. Not gonna lie, because they have no moral obligation or no moral aspects when they're being turned, and maybe it's just through time they can develop whatever. But
Well, I think it didn't bother me because I think once they killed the head vampire, they lost that connection, so they became their own selves as vampires at that point.
okay, yeah, I guess that's cool. I
That's
guess
how
that
I
works.
that's how I interpret it because the head vampire was killed. It didn't cure them like it did Lost Boys, but it disconnected them to where they wasn't linked to him anymore.
If that's the case, I need to find a vampire, got to turn, and then kill him, so I'm good. Because I wouldn't mind if I have my own moral standing and who I am, and still a vampire. I'm in. Let's go.
Yeah, that was my takeaway on that. So
Okay, that's fair. Do you know anything about budget?
I
Do you
do
know?
have it up. Did you look at it?
I didn't. I did not look at any of this. So we'll go with budget first, like usual.
Yeah, let me
This
get
one,
to it. Okay,
what's
I'm
that?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
You ready? All right. So this one, I'm gonna say this one's a little bit higher than I would think because this one has a lot of amazing scenery and settings. You have Buddy Guy, Michael B. Jordan. Let's go 150 mil.
You're high. It's 90 million, which is still a lot for
Okay.
this kind of movie.
Yeah, because I mean, at the end of the day, like the scenery is great and the imagery is great and everything, but the majority of the movie is shot with this one area, one stage,
Mhm.
one scene. So, all right, and then so
What do you think
uh,
the box office was?
so I know that I don't know the number, but I know this absolutely crushed and broke records. So I'm just gonna say north of 300 mil.
You're correct. This film this film made total worldwide $365 million.
Damn,
This
I should have
movie,
said south of 400.
un, unlike last week's episode where Craven tanked at the theater, this
Anked.
this film fucking crushed. I mean, this film made fucking money, and I I read something earlier that Ryan Coogler did this film because, like I said earlier, that he wanted something to do something different that didn't wasn't tied to a franchise or part of a franchise, and this was the film he came up with, and that he had no plans for a sequel for this film, and but the way this film ends, he kind of leaves it open for a sequel, and with showing that Stack is still there in the and whatnot,
Stack and his girlfriend.
and his girlfriend. And with the amount of money that this film made, I would not be surprised if the studio forces or pushes him to do a sequel and have another franchise here.
You know, what would be rad, absolutely fucking rad, is if he went back to Chicago and fucked with Capone and the Italian mafia. That'd be
Yeah,
great if you had vampires versus that in a shootout style and like
yeah,
Tommy guns everywhere. And either because there's that whole gap of the 60 years we don't know what they were doing,
yeah,
so
yeah,
anything could happen. You could do any period piece technically, or you could go to present day. Or as far as the movie is concerned, 80s was present day.
yeah. Well, I think it was '90s, but yeah,
Oh no, that was 80s.
was it '80s? I thought it was '90s.
It was 80s.
Okay,
Because yeah, do you see that sweater? It was 80s.
I mean
That
that
was
was early. That was early Martin, like
that was a
'90s.
Cos
Early.
that was a Cosby sweater if I ever
I
saw
got
one.
I got I got Martin vibes from that, man, not Cosby.
All right, hold on. Now I'm looking this up. We're gonna find this out. So, all right, we're doing this live, right?
You
So,
going
hey
you gonna
Sturry,
be you gonna be so mad.
what era was the end of Sinners filmed in?
Thank you, Ryan. It was
It,
1991.
oh, Jesus Christ! So it was still the 80s. Okay.
Did it say what it was?
Oh no, I thought you were fucking with me and you looked it up. No,
Oh no, I was fucking with you, but I didn't look it up.
you son of a bitch. Uh, Jack and
I'm pretty sure it was
Buddy
90s. It
Guy.
could have been late 80s, but I'm pretty sure it was '90s, early '90s, because it was like Arsenio Hall. Well, I guess that was late '80s, Arsenio Hall.
Damn you. In a
What'd you
scene
find it?
set in the early 1990s, an older Sammy, played by Buddy Guy. Sammy
Yeah,
was that character we've
yeah.
talking about, not the cousin,
hmm
Sammy.
I thought it felt more Martin than Cosby.
It does have elements of like the first Tribe Called Quest album, so I'll go. All
Yeah.
right.
Um. All right. You ready for ratings?
Yep.
So this was your pick, so I'll go first.
All right.
So, like I said, I've had my issues. I think this film could be way better if it was some of the first 30 to 40 minutes of this film cut down a little bit. Um, I'm not going to talk about my issues with other critics because that's neither here nor there. I can't take that hold that against this film if I'm rating it. But for me, this film does drag a little bit in the first half hour or so. And to me, that's what hurts this film. This film could have been, I think it could have been so much better. But that being said, this movie is fucking good. This movie is really fucking good, and the music is good. The actors are great. Some of the kills are really good. Some of the shots, just some of the sequence, kind of what we was talking about with the him shooting the one off the hip as he was being drug outside. Like some of the shots and are so creative with how this was filmed. I generally really, I think I'm more really hold this film really high as a vampire film. Uh, as the years come, where I would rank it, I don't know, but it's going to be. It would probably rank pretty high. We're definitely within a top 10 list, easily within a top 10 list. Um, it might even crack a top 5 all time vampire list. I mean, it's that good. Um,
Wow.
I'm going to sit at a 3.9.
We're not far off here. So I have the same vibe. I am going to round up actually. I'll just say my rating right off the rip, and then I'll talk about why. It's 3.8 nerds for me. Um, and I had 3.75, but 3.8 is better in this instance. My only issues with it was the lack of originality, but like I said, that's everywhere in Hollywood. That aside, though, the depth, the meaningful interactions of the characters, the story. I do feel that, and when I say story with this, I'm not talking about the main plot with the pulled and borrowed items from other vampire films. I'm talking about the story and depth of each character and the timeline and the era, the period piece aspect with the music and the way the music all came together to build the unity and the backbone of this movie. It was so good. And to further it with this character, Sammy, growing up to be a fictionalized version of Buddy Guy and Buddy Guy playing that person,
Yeah.
I don't think that you can go wrong with this. If I were to put it in a list, it wouldn't be crack the top 5. It would maybe get 10 because there's just so many amazing vampire films out there. But it could possibly. I don't know where it would rank, but I will say it is a pretty damn good movie, and I can't wait to add it to the collection.
Yeah, it's definitely if you're a fan of vampire films, it's definitely one that you gotta watch. Um, so yeah, if don't skip it if you're a film fan. So
No, and don't be put off. Don't be put off by any if you hear anything negative about it or you think one way about it. If you're a true horror fan and you're a true vampire fan, get to it ASAP. It's amazing.
or if you're a Michael B. Jordan fan,
I mean, not everyone's a vampire horror film person, so I wouldn't push that aspect. But Michael B. Jordan's awesome. So
yeah. You got any recommendations?
yeah, so I'm going to tell everyone they should check out the John Wick spinoff, Ballerina. I get to check out Ballerina recently, and I was definitely impressed with it. I was impressed with the Keanu Reeves uh, moments too, because he's in it. But it had its moments where I was a little like, like couple cringe moments.
Hmm.
But that aside, though, I overall enjoyed it. It fits into the John Wick franchise wonderfully, and you should check it out, especially if you like a badass woman in charge.
I watched Ballerina as well on tour. I actually went to the theater twice, and one of the times was Ballerina. And for whatever reason, I can't remember what the other movie I went and watched was. And that's actually really bothering me now that I'm trying to think about what the movies I went and watched at the theater.
It was something we reviewed because I remember you texted me and said you ran out to go see it because you only had a small window. I think I know what you're talking about, and I can't remember.
We didn't review it, whatever it was, because I did it while I was on tour.
When you got back, though, or were you talking about recently?
Yes, yeah, like this past tour. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. I
wasn't it
watched.
Sinners?
I watched. No,
No,
that was
5 weeks
the last.
ago.
That was the last tour. This tour, I watched two movies, and me and Rick went and watched two movies. We watched Ballerina, And then we watched something else, and for the life of me, I cannot think of what fucking
Well,
movie it was.
it wasn't that great, clearly.
No, it was actually something pretty good, but for the life of me, I can't think of what the fuck we went and watched now. But that being said, did watch Ballerina, and damn, I enjoyed Ballerina. I mean, if you're a John Wick fan, go watch that film, or I don't know if it's still in theaters now, but when it comes out on digital, check
It's
that out
out. It's
because
out.
it's a fucking fun film.
Yeah, for sure. And
And
she's easy on the eyes. When let's
yeah,
not lie.
yeah, and I guess I'm gonna recommend. I'm gonna go back to an older film, and the only reason I'm gonna do this, another older film, is because this one just hit digital to where you could buy it or rent it on digital, and that's one that I've been waiting for a while, and I periodically check. And actually, it was Megan that told me that it was on digital last week, and so I picked it up. Christian Slater's Pump Up the Volume. And I fucking love Pump Up the Volume. It's probably one of my favorite Christian Slater films, and also Samantha Mathis, which is very easy on the eyes as well. And I've actually met Samantha Mathis, and she is such a sweetheart. But that is actually available on digital now to rent or buy, and I bought it. And if you've never seen Pump Up the Volume, go watch it because, and if you like old Christian Slater movies, like in the vein of Heather's, then you're going to fucking love Pump Up the Volume.
Did you watch SFW yet?
No.
I'm still telling you to go check that out if you like Pump Up the Volume. But anyways, Christian Slater. On that note, real quick, he has been everywhere for me because I told you I've been watching Mr. Robot, which is phenomenal. And then I have been told that I need to watch. It's the new movie. It just came out. Is it Point Click?
I don't know that one.
It's a movie. But he's in it. My wife just told me I need to see it, and I saw the trailer, and he's in it. And essentially, it's a movie where they wake up every day and they can't remember the day before, and pieces start coming together, and they find out there's a killer, and it's a whole thing. So maybe it's Click Click. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know that one. I'll have to look it up because I'm not sure what that one is. I'm trying to see what's out on pre-order if I can find where stuff's on pre because I want to figure out what the fuck was it I watched. I'm a fucking idiot.
What was it?
We did review it.
I told you. I knew it.
28 years later.
Oh, you are an idiot.
I am an idiot. So yeah, that was the two movies I watched on tour was Ballerina and 28 Years Later.
Oh, it's called Blink Twice. That's what it is.
Yeah,
What
I've
I was
not
just
seen,
talking about.
yeah, I've not seen that, so I'll have to look it up. Because I do
Oh,
generally
and
like,
he also plays Harry Morgan in the new Dexter. Like it's so
yeah,
he's kind of everywhere.
which I've yet to watch that. I don't know if I will. Maybe I will at some point when I'm
Shame,
bored.
shame, shame.
Telling you, it just burned me on the endings of two of the first two series. I'm just like, I don't know, man.
Well, the first ending left it wide open, so we got another ending, and that left it equally open because of where it goes. And guess who one of the antagonists is in the new season? Peter fucking Dinklage.
Really?
Yep. Yeah, he's
Toxic
been doing all that.
Avenger.
Yeah, which I'm excited to see
I'm
too.
stoked for Toxie, man. I'm so excited for Toxic Avenger.
Well, we'll get into it. Guys, do us a favor. We are going to try, we're looking at the next year and we're going to try and fucking blow this shit up. We want to get this shit out there. So do us a favor, like it, share it, go to our website, review it, do all the magic that you can do and help us get this out there. Spread the word because it's free and sharing is caring, and we appreciate you all for it.
Be sure to click like on the video if you're watching live. Even if you're commenting in the live chat, please go back into the regular comment section and leave a comment. Any little extra traction helps on top of the sharing and everything else. Invite your friends. Talk about us in person to your friends.
And you know what else? We haven't done this in a long time, JP. We gotta fucking start encouraging people to leave the reviews, and we'll read the reviews on the
Hmm.
podcast because that's fun, positive or negative. We have no shame. We'll put it out there.
I'll read the positive ones. Ryan will read the negative
I'll
ones.
have fun with the negative one. Send it all our way, guys. We appreciate you.
All righty, guys. Until next week, I don't know what we're doing yet because we haven't discussed it. Talk to you
But
later.
we'll figure it out. Cheers.